Whatever you do, don't stop watching this video. Now that I have your attention, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Inexpert Film Advice, where I give my inexpert advice on film and filmmaking. I'm your host, Deontay Jenkins, and today we're going to be talking about how to watch a movie. How do you watch a movie? Well, I think that's a very good question. There are three ways to watch a movie: entertainment, critical analytics, and education. Those are the only three ways to watch a movie, and those are the only three things that we're going to go over today. Are you ready, boy? Here's my inexpert advice on how to watch a movie. Like I said before, there are three ways to watch a movie: entertainment, critical analyzing, and education. Let's take a look at the entertainment side first. Entertainment. I really don't have to teach you how to watch a movie for entertainment. I feel like you should know that, but I'm going to do it anyway. Let's break this down into three viewings. Viewing a film for entertainment purposes is very straightforward. During the first viewing, all you got to do is chill. Relax, watch the movie, see whether or not you like it. If you do like it, that's when things become a little more interesting. As filmmakers, we're always trying to learn and grow, which hopefully is the reason why you're watching this right now. After the first viewing, you should have formed an opinion about the story, the characters, and the film as a whole. Now during the second viewing, you should know what's coming up, so use that to your advantage. Try to get deeper into the character's psyche and feel what they're feeling. Try to understand what they're going through and see if the filmmakers effectively got that across. Being able to feel after the second viewing of the film will let you know whether or not the film is going to stick with you or whether or not it was just mindless entertainment. Now there's nothing wrong with mindless entertainment, but you should definitely know the difference between mindless entertainment and entertainment that touches you on a deeper level. If you can't tell whether it's mindless entertainment or it's touching you on a deeper level, ask yourself, if this character died right now, would I be upset? Or better yet, is this story captivating enough to watch a second time? Now that brings me to the third viewing. If this film is touching you on a deeper level and it's not just mindless entertainment, that means it probably stuck with you a little more. Now that you know that you enjoy the film and you connect with the characters in the story, question it. Question everything about it. Question why you connect with the characters, question why the story is good. Question if it actually is good or whether or not you actually connect with the characters. A lot of times filmmakers will toy with your emotions on the surface level but not get any deeper down. This is where questioning comes in. You question whether or not the story actually makes sense and whether or not you actually connect with it, then you know if the movie is actually any good. Now whether a movie is good or not is completely subjective. And by no means are these three things indicative of whether or not you enjoyed a film or whether or not a film is good. I'm really just trying to deepen your enjoyment of the film, as well as instill the mindset, which every filmmaker should have, to question everything. Now let's move on to critically analyzing a film. Again, we're going to break this down into three viewings. First viewing. Really pay attention to the story that's being told. A story is typically about characters, so really pay attention to the characters as well. At the end, ask yourself, at its very core, what was this story about? And once you have that figured out, ask yourself, did the filmmaker effectively tell the story? This is a simple yes or no. If yes, then ask why was the film good? How did it connect with you? How were the characters portrayed? How did they connect with you? What little elements and details did you pick up on that helped tell the story and help develop the characters? If no, then ask why didn't the story connect with you? Why didn't the characters connect with you? What could the filmmakers have done to help you connect with the story a little better? Now that's the first viewing, but I think we can go a little bit deeper in our analyzing of the film. During the second viewing, whether you enjoyed the first viewing or not, ask yourself what the filmmaker could have done better. There's no such thing as a perfect film. There are films that come pretty damn close to being perfect, but there's always something that can be improved on. If ever anybody tells you that your film is perfect, call them a liar and tell them to stay away from you because they're not helping you progress as a filmmaker and they're hindering you from pushing the culture forward. Now that you've seen the film, you should be able to pick up on little imperfections that could have made the story better. Most of the time, these flaws come in character development. Ask yourself if the information that you're receiving is relevant to the story. All the information you receive in a film should go towards pushing the story and the characters a little further. Now challenge yourself by looking at films that are considered to be some of the best films ever made and look to see if you can spot these little imperfections. This will help. Truck. This will train your critical eye and help you spot out those little imperfections in your own films. Okay, now what do you do during the third viewing of the film? Well, you try to forget everything you know from the first two viewings of the film and try to go in with a fresh, critical mind. Now this may mean you have to wait a little while before viewing the film again. You'll begin to notice little things that you didn't notice before, good things and bad things. But most important during the third viewing, you need to question everything. Always, as a filmmaker, when you're watching a film, when you're making a film, when you're writing a film, question everything. Question everything about the story, everything about the characters, everything. This isn't the last time that that's going to appear on this list either. And finally, the third type of viewing experience, educational. Now, when viewing a film for educational purposes for the first time, you should treat it just like you would when you're viewing it for the first time for entertainment. Just chill, relax, let the movie speak to you. Experience the film with no polluted thoughts and no preconceived notion. Now, during the second viewing of the film, pay attention to what you see and hear. As a film viewer, you have two tools when watching a film: your ears and your eyes. Now, a filmmaker should always be stimulating your ears and your eyes to tell the story. Stimulating doesn't mean have loud noises and complex visuals. In fact, if you don't notice the filmmaking, that's the mark of a good filmmaker. But be careful though, because if you're watching good filmmaking, you'll be pulled in to the film and not pay attention to what you're seeing and hearing. You'll get lost in the film and start watching it for entertainment purposes again. Watch out for that. Now think of great moments in cinema when you see something that's truly amazing. One of my favorite moments actually comes from Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Now, I would explain it to you, but the nerd writer already did a video on this, and I think he explained it best.
In this scene and this shot, Harry learns of the true danger he faces. And what's important to notice here is that with deeper, more significant peril comes deeper, more significant isolation. Mr. Weasley pulls Harry into another part of the leaky cauldron, separating him from his friends, while keeping the specter of Sirius Black in the foreground. When the conversation turns explicitly to Black, his image is placed between them, with family and friends framed in the background. Then, Mr. Weasley pulls Harry into an alcove so that they are alone, asking Harry not to go looking for Black. And finally, for the key dramatic question and period on the scene, Poirot frames Harry completely by himself. Now this is great filmmaking. Isolation will go on to be a key theme in Azkaban and the rest of the series, despite its constant message of friendship and its focus on the bond between Harry, Ron, and Hermione. The series returns repeatedly to Harry's feelings of being alone, the chosen one, his gradual realization of a burden that he must carry without help.
Now, I have no association with the nerd writer other than the fact that I love his videos, but I think he perfectly explains how great the filmmaking is in this scene. These are things that you need to pick up on and notice when you're watching a film for educational purposes. Now, one of my favorite moments with film audio actually comes from a lack of sound, and it comes from Fritz Lang's M.
Now I want you to notice how he strips away all the unnecessary ambient sounds, giving you only what's necessary to push the story forward.
Du hast aber einen schönen Ball. Wie heißt du denn?
Else Beckmann. Fein. Dankeschön.
Neue Fortsetzung, Frau Beckmann. Spannend, aufregend, sensationell.
Ja, ja. Augenblick, Herr Gerke. Sagen Sie mal, Herr Gerke, haben Sie Elsäsche nicht gesehen?
Nee. Ist sie nicht gerade von mir die Treppe raufgelaufen?
Nee. Sie ist noch nicht zu Hause.
Na, dann wird sie wohl bald kommen. Auf Wiedersehen, Frau Beckmann.
Auf Wiedersehen, Herr Gerke. Elsie! 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 Elsie!
I'm gonna let you see that last part again. It allows you to focus in on the visuals.
Elsie! Elsie! Elsie!
The carefully selected sounds that he does use, coupled with the powerful images on the screen, would allow you to know exactly what's going on even if there weren't subtitles. Here we see Elsie has not shown up for dinner. Here we see her ball rolling away, which symbolically connected us to her childhood and her innocence. Here we see the balloon caught in the power lines, just like Elsie has been caught in the trap of the murderer. It's a powerful and iconic bit of filmmaking, and these are the type of things that you should pay attention to.
Now, for the third viewing, you need to simply pause and rewind. Pause on moments that awe you and inspire you and question how the filmmaker did it and how they got you to feel that way. Pausing and rewinding helps you find the little puzzle pieces, which will help you get a much better understanding of the cinematic arts. And of course, during the third viewing, and during all viewings, question everything. I can't stress that enough. You need, as a filmmaker, to question everything. Alright guys, that was my inexpert advice on watching movies. But wait, I got a bonus tip for you. Watch films with the sound off. A lot of filmmakers swear by this, including myself. If you really want to understand the visual art of storytelling, watch the film with the sound off. Then it's a good bit of filmmaking. If you can't, then it's not so good. It'll help you learn how to tell a story with visuals being the strongest aspect. Alright guys, let me know in the comments below if this helped you out any. If it did, give this video a thumbs up. And if you feel compelled, become a patron. It'll really help me continue to pump out these videos every week. As always, if you have anything that you want my inexpert advice on, leave a comment below or mention me on Twitter or Instagram. My social media handle is here, also in the notes below, as well as my Patreon page. But before we go, let's go over my inexpert advice one last time. The 3 ways to view a film are for entertainment, for critical analysis, and for education. When viewing for entertainment, you should chill, feel, and question. During critical analysis viewing, you You should pay attention to how the story is told, question how the story can be told better, forget everything that you already know and go into the film looking for something new. For the educational viewing, you should chill, pay attention to what you see and hear, pause and rewind, and as a bonus, view the film with the sound off. Alright guys, I'm Deontay Jenkins. This was my inexpert film advice. Be sure to tune in next week. I'm out!